Sorry. My connection is.
Keep
I'm gonna
working on it,
try-
Kathy. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:02. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
But to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very much. Open up the floor to public comment. Is there no one in the room? Is there anybody on that wishes to speak about the public comment?
Yes, Chair, there is one hand raised.
Okay.
Tom Lincoln, you have the floor.
I do. Am I
Yes,
here?
Please, yeah, please identify yourself with your name and address, please.
I don't actually have a public comment. I was here about the Talbot Mills dam removal.
It's good that item is being continued.
That was, I guess that was my question is why is it being continued?
It's being continued at the request of the Noah, is it Noah? Yeah.
At the request of the applicant, yes.
Yeah.
The applicant is also online and has their hand raised, so this discussion can happen with that agenda item.
Yes. Okay, anybody else?
Chair, there are no other hands raised.
Okay, do we have the applicant for Triple Cove Road?
I can-
Yes, yeah.
That Kathy moved.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go any further, while you're trying to search that, I do have to take attendance because we have two members on Zoom.
Okay.
So Dave Gagliardi, Chair, aye. Richard Hawes.
Aye.
George Simularis. Mary Jones,
Here.
Ian Valentine,
Here.
Mary McBride,
Aye.
Mike Ray,
Aye.
Kathy Mott,
Aye.
John McKenna, Travis Brown, and Tina Perdidas are excused. Okay.
Chair, for item number one, I do not see any applicant in Zoom or in the room.
I'm sorry, who's that in the on with the hand raised?
That is regarding the dam removal.
Okay, seeing as we don't have the applicant for the Trouble Cove Road project, we'll move on to dam discontinuance. Mr. Lincoln, you have a comment or a question on the continuation of the public hearing?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, do you have a comment on the continuation of the public?
I'm just curious. This is the second time this has been continued. This is, I think it's been on the docket for quite some time. I'm just curious why it keeps getting continued.
Okay, we have, is it a gentleman?
No, Ms. Griffiths, I did respond to her request for continuance. I said you guys might like to hear some sort of summary of what's going on and why it's being continued. And she's here tonight, and I'm happy for you to call on her next.
All right, then Ms. Griffith.
Yeah, that would be good.
Hi, this is Jill Griffiths with Gomez and Sullivan Engineers. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I apologize. I just got the email from Catherine asking to join, and I'm actually at a school function for my child. So I apologize. I'm not very prepared, but I'm happy to answer questions. I basically, yes, we requested to continue because I was happy to discuss or, chat with you about what you thought was best, but we thought it was not in everyone's best interest of time to continue discussing the project while the Section 106 consultation and mitigation discussions were still kind of ongoing. I thought in our last hearing before the Billerica Historic Districts Commission that we had discussed that we would circle back when a little more was known about the Section 106 process and what the mitigation alternatives would be. So that was our intent, but I apologize if that was not what the commission wanted. But yeah, I'm happy to discuss whatever you'd like while I'm here. I just don't have my full team or anything prepared.
Chair, if I can butt in, 'cause
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
to apologize to the applicant. If you thought I was saying that's not what the commission wanted, I just was hoping that you could give some sort of update. What is happening so far with the 106 before
sure.
they vote to continue?
Yeah, sure. So I believe, David, that you, the chair, you were at the meeting, right? The
Yes.
section 106 meeting that we had recently. Yeah. And a few others as well, I think I saw. So that's the latest. We had a site visit, I believe it was on March 17th. And we discussed, a number of similar mitigation alternatives that we've been discussing and heard a few new ones. NOAA is the lead federal agency. They have been compiling that list from all the letters that were received and the meetings that have been held. And they're currently kind of organizing their notes and planning to send out an update to the Section 106 consulting parties around the end of this week. And that will lay out kind of the ideas that have been thrown out there and the next steps in the process. And I believe the next step is to begin drafting the memorandum of agreement, which will lay out NOAA's proposal for mitigation alternatives for the consulting parties to then review and weigh in on. So that's kind of the next step. I don't have a great idea of the timeline yet at this time.
So, how long do you want the the continuation of the public hearing to be?
I was thinking that, again, if you let me know your preference on kind of when you would like to know continuance requests. I apologize, this one came in kind of late because we were still kind of debriefing from that meeting, but I thought maybe it made sense to just continue to the next month and until we knew more and then continue again if needed. But if you'd rather push it out further to be more likely to have more concrete information to discuss, I'm happy with that too. But I guess our first choice would just be to continue to May until we know more. And if you'd rather, if you have a date by which you'd like to know if we have another continuance request, please, let me know that information.
Okay, Mike, do you have anything?
No, I wonder if you are aware of how strong the feelings are, the negative feelings are about this project.
Yep, I'm definitely aware of a lot of negative feelings and some positive feelings too. And I think that we had, I thought that we had a pretty productive meeting on the 17th and heard a lot of good ideas. So I thought it was one of the most productive meetings that we've had so far. I don't know how others felt, but yes, I am aware of various different opinions and thoughts about the project.
On the mitigation, the 106, I'm not sure why that would hold up the vote of the Historic District Commission, because the mitigation comes into play if or when the dam is taken down. If we vote
Mhm.
not to take the dam down, then there's plenty of time to talk about mitigation and what you can offer afterwards. So I don't see why that would hold up a vote of the HDC.
Sure, yeah, if that's the way you would prefer it. We weren't, this commission and this process is a little different than the bylaws we've seen in other municipalities. So we weren't quite sure of how the two processes tie together. So if that, again, I was just going off of what we had discussed in the first hearing and the recommendation to circle back. But if you would rather proceed with a vote, I think, that's up to the commission.
That's all.
Mary?
Hi, Jill, Mary McBride.
Hi,
How are you?
good, thank you.
If I think most of us are ready to vote, but out of courtesy and since it's on the agenda tonight, maybe we can agree to move it to May, to our May meeting. But if you find something in the middle of, I'm winging it here, in the middle of the month that they want, Jill and her people want more of the delay, then we can look at that. But
So, Chair, through you, I think because the agenda that was posted tonight specifically said it was requested continuance until May 7th. Any public that is interested in coming out probably stayed home because they saw that. And so I would say, even if all of you were completely ready to vote, you should wait until May 7th to do that. I would also
That's
say,
exactly
don't
what I
pick
said.
a
I'm not-
special date.
I'm
Because
not
it's
advocating
dedicated to
that
that date as well.
because it's not on the agenda.
Absolutely.
But I don't wanna, if it's, Jill, if you think that we're going to extend it to May and then it will be June and July, et cetera, is that?
Again,
or
I,
is
it's,
it too early in the process?
it's just, it's a very big, complex project, as I'm sure you're aware, and we're just kind of taking it as it comes and trying to, you know, be transparent and, you know, make sure that we're doing enough outreach. So again, if you would rather move this process along faster than section 106, I think that's a perfectly viable option. And we can be more, if there's more information you would like to have us present or respond to questions at the next hearing before you vote, we'd be happy to prepare something like that. I do have a list of your questions from the first hearing that we've prepared draft responses to. That was one thing we were planning to submit back to the commission if that would be helpful. But yeah, whatever you think. And again, we're not just continuing just to stall or anything like that. We
No, I don't
just
think
were
it
trying
matters.
to be aware of the, you know, the two concurrent
Where do you
processes.
stand with conservation at this point?
That is, we have a tentative next hearing scheduled for May 12th, but I think that we will have to continue that because we need to do some work with the Board of Health for stormwater and floodplain, and I haven't been able, I've been reaching out to them for a few weeks to get on their agenda. And I haven't been able to hear from them on that process and timeline. So I think that needs to happen first. So I think Conservation Commission will likely get pushed out. So yeah, the whole thing is definitely longer than you know, we originally anticipated, which is why we're just kind of taking it as it comes and adjusting schedules accordingly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jill, thanks for calling in tonight. We appreciate it. This is Dan
Sure.
Valentine. I do have sort of a hypothetical question for you.
Mhm.
If the commission were to turn down the request to remove the dam, do you know what NOAA's next steps would be after that? And or what the proponent CRT Realty's next steps would be after that? And saying, I don't know, is a perfectly valid answer. I just.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to default to that answer because I'm just not well versed in these type of processes, the local historic reviews and bylaws. And as I said, our historical consultant Pal had one idea of how they thought this process would go with a typical demolition delay bylaw, but I believe that yours is a little different. And so they didn't think that there was much of a decision to make so much as just like the 6-month typical demolition delay waiting period. But I guess if you could explain your process to me so I can take it back to them, that would be helpful. So it's
Well, I
essentially you
guess-
have the right to, you know, the authority to deny that the dam can be removed. Is that what you're
Are you
saying?
asking for a copy of the bylaw?
No, I have a copy of the bylaw. I was kind of looking for the, you know, your interpretation or explanation of the process or my understanding.
I'll defer to Richard Hawes here. Richard?
Hi, Jill, this is Richard Hawes.
Hi.
I know that 106 has a proviso for basically parties that can't come together and reach an agreement, which
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking at this point, this is what's gonna happen is you're familiar with the advisory committee for
Yes.
historic preservation?
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
specifically 106, it's part of section 106.
Right.
So that would be all the more reason to take a vote sooner rather than later, when we take a vote in May.
Okay.
Because then it looks like, to answer Dan's question, I mean, I'll answer for you, I'm not sure. It looks like to me that would be the next step, was to go to the advisory committee for parties that can't come to an agreement. And
Yes.
this is certainly what they consider an adverse effect. Any
Yes.
historically sensitive structure that's going to be altered or torn down in any form.
Yep. I would agree with that. And that is what Pal had indicated as well, that yeah, the advisory council would likely get involved and then they would mediate the process from there. And they actually are already involved. They've been at a couple of the meetings.
Okay, thank you. It's not on their
Yeah.
map. Thank you.
What's that? I didn't hear the last.
It's like they have a
Thanks.
map of all open, I check it every now and then for all open,
Oh, okay.
projects.
There was a filing that Noah submitted and I believe copied all consulting parties on, but I can forward that to you if you don't have a copy. There was a filing with the advisory council.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Okay.
Chair Tom Lincoln has his hand.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is it on?
Yeah, first.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm sorry you're losing time from your daughter's sporting event, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
this is a very big issue. And of course, for myself and to be very candid, I actually have not made up a decision. I'm an environmentalist. I've always been out in that river and many other rivers. And so I actually been still studying the fish ladders things. And so if for some reason that we did this board, I think, does have the right, if we did say no, that we could stop it, I thought. However, but will you be bringing back, if we said no, the fish ladder in the second step of this, trying to allow the fish to get up there?
I'm not aware of any plans for a fish ladder at this time, simply because it's not something that the owner wants to purchase, pay for and maintain.
Okay, thank you. And the other
Yep.
last thing, I don't want to waste your time. I
Mhm.
think the owner, his position for me is moot. It's about the dam, the fish and the historic district, but nothing against you, because I know the owner plays a role. But from my own opinion, his part in this whole deal has nothing to do with me. I think that the argument that it was a misstep and the oversight that they left the dam out when they sold the building is a big farce. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. thank
Kathy
you.
Mar?
I have no comment, no questions. Thank you.
Mary Jones?
Yeah, I agree with what Dick had to say. I'm not quite sure why this process is going on before we actually take a vote on the dam removal. So I think sooner rather than later, because if indeed we have the power to say, no, this is not wanted, then it seems to me that an awful lot of work is being done that perhaps doesn't have to be done. And that's my only question.
Okay, I only have one question. Have you been before Mass Historical for this?
Yes, yep. They're a consulting party as well, and they've been involved from the beginning, from the first, permit to do the reconnaissance analysis back in 2012 or 13.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Uh,
They have replied to a few comment letters from MCA, MCC, and others, essentially just deferring to, the Section 106 process.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing. and-
Chair, if I may, you do have a member
I'm sorry.
with his hand raised on Zoom.
Yeah, thank you. So Mr. Lincoln?
Yes, Tom Lincoln, go ahead.
Mr. Lincoln, go ahead.
Yes, Tom Lincoln from the Middlesex Canal Commission. I would urge the Historic District Commission to take a vote. It is within your powers to deny the dam removal. If you want, obviously your complete prerogative, if you want to continue this to May, I think that's certainly acceptable. But I would reiterate that the Section 106 process, the timing of that is very strange in terms of the logic involved in this proposal. The mitigation is only effective if the project results in the destruction of the historic resource, and we haven't gotten to that point at this juncture. I was at the St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, informal meeting on the Section 106. There's a new gentleman from NOAA involved. Lots of things were talked about, but both the Middlesex Canal Commission and the Middlesex Canal Association, which has invested almost $3 million in a new museum at the very site we're talking about, we both made it abundantly clear that we oppose the removal of the dam, and therefore think that mitigation is a bit of a moot point until that other issue is resolved as part of the regulatory process.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
as much as I'd like to vote tonight, I don't think we can.
No.
Right.
It's not in the.
Oh, no, I'm not
general-
suggesting that.
All right, let's entertain a motion to continue the Talbot Dam project until May 7th.
So moved.
Is it May 7th? Is that our next meeting?
I'll double check.
Second.
Yes.
Okay. Been moved and seconded.
Second. Aye.
Michael, aye. Richard,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Dan, aye. George,
Aye.
Mary Jones,
Aye.
Kathy.
Aye.
It's unanimous to continue the public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We have nothing else on the agenda for this evening.
Chair, there is one new member on Zoom. I don't know if they're here for
Oh.
the one Trouble Cove application or not.
That would be good.
Well,
Let's find out before we leave.
So I'll just call you out by your screen name, Lenore and Howard. If you're here for one Trouble Cove, can you please raise your hands through the Zoom function?
One or, I know that is. They were here for the dam. I know. Oh, and Whitney.
Chair, if you'd like to continue it to the next meeting, so, oh, they do have their hand raised. Oh. Is it okay if I call?
Yeah.
All right, Lenore and Howard, you have the floor.
I heard my name mentioned, is that correct?
Yes, Howard.
Yes, I'm with the Middlesex Canal Association. And I certainly am supportive of maintaining our very historic dam. Certainly, we very strongly feel that the idea of moving fish can be accomplished with building of a fish ladder rather than the removal of a dam. And with the removal of the dam, the possibility of really not fully understanding the implication on the Billerica water supply. So those are my brief comments.
thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I didn't expect to have the opportunity, and I really
Yes,
appreciate
okay.
it.
Okay, so,
And with that, there is no applicant here. Sometimes for really simple applications, if you know what you're looking at, you've made decisions before. I don't know if this project falls within that realm or if you'd rather continue it. I'm happy to pull up the colored pictures if you'd like, otherwise May 7th.
I've got an issue.
all right, and with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
We have minutes.
Continue the,
We have minutes.
Oh, sorry, was gonna continue the Trouble Cove Road signage and upgrade, exterior upgrade till May 7th.
Second.
who's the motion?
I would.
Who's making the
Who's
motion?
making the motion?
I think Dan said so moved.
I made the motion.
So moved.
Okay,
All of us.
and we have a second. Michael,
Yeah, aye.
Richard,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Dan,
Aye.
George,
Aye.
Mary Jones,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
chair votes aye, it's unanimous. Now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
We have minutes.
Oh, do we have those? Sorry, I haven't.
We sent them us.
Thinking of Mike to get to the Chinese restaurant.
I may go.
What's the date of the minute?
I may go from.
March 5th.
March 5th, I'm sorry.
Okay, does anyone have anything on the minutes of March 5th? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to
So
approve the
moved.
minutes.
Motion to adjourn.
Can I ask,
minutes.
can I ask a question about
Yes.
previous minutes?
Yes,
Previous minutes should show that we were in agreement to lower the gazebo,
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
right? Would it be possible for the chairman to send a letter to the board of selectmen telling him that?
Okay, I could do that.
That would be good.
I can do that. Okay, anybody have anything else on the minutes of the fifth?
Does anybody want to second minute? We have leave them in a second.
I second the minutes.
Okay,
There you go.
move the seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I recused, I wasn't here at the meeting.
Okay. Same here, recuse. All right. So
Mary Jones and Kathy's?
Aye,
were you two here for the fifth?
yes,
I was not.
Okay,
I was.
okay, so Mayor Jones, 1, 2,
Aye.
3, 4. George, were you here?
I believe I was here, wasn't I? I was not, okay, I can't second it then.
So
So
4 in
take it
favor,
back.
0 opposed, and 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was here when we talked about lowering the thing.
No, no, I'm talking about.
You weren't at the meeting.
What did you get for a vote? I'm sorry, 4.
4 in favor, 0 opposed, 4 abstain.
Good job.
You were supposed to be 7?
This right.
7 votes. Make it 7
We'll
votes.
fix it.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. And we're adjourned.
Somebody make a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Mary,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Richard,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Dan, George.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Good night.
To this kind of.